Welcome. So I'm sure that we've all been doing quite a range of things during quarantine, and some of the things I've been doing have included drinking way too much iced tea and being on TikTok for 3,700 hours at a time. Because of the way that the algorithm on that app works, one of the things that I see often are like photo tricks and modeling tricks and posing tricks, and a lot of them are like news to me, some of which I like, that's yesterday's news that's been known, but there were a handful of them where I got to thinking, hey, does that actually work? Or is that actually a good idea? Maybe 4 different TikTok tricks with photos and posing, and we'll just see how they work. And honestly, they're not bad. The first trick I have is incredibly simple. It's by somebody named TJ Hughes. He is, a photographer. He's on Instagram, all the things. And so one of the things that he recommends is for people who don't have a tripod is if you have a phone that you can put tape on the back of your phone and stick it up on your window. Now, I tried this trick with electrical tape or wire tape just because I literally have no faith in Scotch tape or packing tape, and I think this might work with, duct tape, because what I've noticed is the weight of the phone keeps falling off of my window. And so I was thinking that it might have been because I use electrical tape, because the tape is fairly weak, and I think it would have worked out if I had used duct tape or something. But if I'm going to go out of my way to use duct tape, I don't really think it's worth it. I did get the trick to work after a little bit of finessing, and they're not bad pictures. The point is so that you have like the natural light coming in from your window, and you have both of your hands to, do whatever you want, but you are kind of stuck at that front facing angle. Might not think that's flattering, or you are kind of confined to where you are in a room. I know I had to move a couple of things out of the way because I have like shelves in front of my window, and it was just very strange. And a trick that I just wouldn't recommend it. I would lay down the $15 and just get a tripod, or if you don't have one, that maybe you're doing better off just leaning your phone up against the window if you have a windowsill. Like I have a little mini windowsill. I was able to take some pretty great pictures that way. I don't know if I would recommend. He has plenty of other tricks, lots of which I do appreciate, but this one in particular, I just don't think it can match a tripod. Next trick that I have is something from Illumitati on TikTok, and she recommends something that I already pretty much try to get my subjects to do when I take pictures, which is take a deep breath. So I know that the camera shyness is real, and I know that being in front of a lens is incredibly intimidating, but if you take a deep breath and maybe look just at the lens, that looks so much more relaxed and composed and even joyful than tensing up a picture. You're rolling your shoulders back, you might tuck your stomachs, or you might be holding a very specific pose. But I find that even through all that, if you just take a deep breath and then relax, it just comes through so much more comfortable, so much more real, and the genuineness of it makes the biggest difference. It is kind of, I'm gonna say it's an underrated trick. It's not really even much of a trick, but capturing real comfort or real happiness and things like that in front of a lens, I think is really quite special. Thing you can take to your selfies, you can take this to your big pictures, you can take this to your portraits, but just try to remember to breathe while you're modeling, and to take a deep breath before every picture you take, regardless of the emotion you have or the pose you're holding. The third person I looked to advice for was David Suh on TikTok. I am so in love with this man. I love him. He's perfect. he has a lot of advice to give about posing and modeling, about confidence. Something I found was pretty interesting that I enjoy was he has a TikTok on female modeling, and what he goes to say is that the idea of feminine modeling or feminine poses is that you are trying to create lines and shapes. And so honestly, from what I know about drawing, you can apply here. So when you want to create maybe a nice smooth guideline through the body, maybe an S shape, you know, something like soft and like really sweet, or maybe you want like lots of sharp edges, like you're doing like a triangle type of look. And so in my pictures, I'll put them up here, but like I try to go for triangles. I find that poses that feature really sharp edges tend to be really flattering on me, more so than looking really soft and feminine. It's just not a good look on me. I recommend playing with maybe different shapes in your poses. So if you're going for something like soft and sweet, then try to keep in mind very soft curves, no like harsh edges. You don't need to put your hand like all the way up on your hip when you could be just letting it rest gently against the side of your body. Like, just to try and play with it. You will see which shapes works best for you. But it's definitely worth a try if you are really into, you know, composing different poses, or if you really do enjoy modeling. We have Pauline Heidi. Underrated. It's just amazing. And I think she's underrated a lot because she's not really like the other three that I just mentioned, but she is good. So what Pauline Heidi does, that Heidi, correct me, what Pauline Heidi decides to do in her pictures is like pretty much news to me, which I think it's a trend that went over my head. I might have seen it, I missed it, it feels vaguely familiar but not familiar enough to like call back a memory. And so what she does is take pictures inside of a car, specifically inside the passenger side. And so I don't know why I had never thought of that, because it's a great idea and I think it's really fun. If you're going to try taking pictures inside of a car, you know, go for the passenger side because you don't have the steering wheel in the way. So use a camera with an actual lens. I tried most of these tricks with my phone because I like to think that most of them are applicable no matter the device, but this one you definitely have to have a lens because you need something that will zoom in far enough to see inside the car without this, you know, the entirety of the driver's seat in the way. I was able to use my phone, but that's because I have a really trustworthy tripod and I was able to kind of fix it in there. It was a lot of crawling. I like scratched my knee, but they're really cute, fun pictures. I think it's so worth it. There are 4 different TikTok tricks, at least in the photo realm and the modeling realm. I have no idea how TJ Hughes got it to work, but if anybody would like to let me know down below, that would be fantastic. And if it does work with Scotch tape, that would be great. But that is all I have for now. I hope you really enjoyed it. I hope you try it. I am at Shortcake191 on Instagram. I am also at Shortcake Shows on Instagram. I post pretty often. You can go ahead and subscribe if you'd like to see, you know, when the next video is coming. And just try to remember that whether you try these tricks or not, that you've got this.